What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Revival. If you're new here, my name is Alex, and The Revival is a new series that I started once again for us to deepen our faith in Jesus, to talk about our physical journey together, but more importantly, talking about Jesus, getting into our devotional, getting into our word, and deepening our faith together. My goal this year is to reach 1,000 subscribers, simply again to grow the community, to deepen our faith, to be together in community, going on our physical journey, but again, deepening our faith. So to anybody that's new, welcome, and everybody that's returning back, so glad that you're here. Now let's get into today's devotional. Today's devotional is an interesting one, just by the title alone, but I think it's going to be really good. And the title is, How Can We Hope in a God Who Abandons Us? Now this title is a little interesting. I'll tell you straight up, God does not abandon us. So we'll get that out of the way. But before we go into today's devotional, I did want to share, I saw an illustration when I was young, and it was two stick figures, one in the center of a circle, and then the other stick figure was on the circle. And the idea is that God is the stick figure in the middle, and we are the stick figure on the circle, constantly moving. And I think if I remember right, the idea is that we have free will. We have the choice to make. Are we going to choose a relationship with Jesus, or are we not? Therefore, we're the ones that are constantly moving. If you remember, and if you don't know, John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he sent his only son to die for us because he loved us so much. Therefore, God's never gonna leave. He's never gonna abandon you. But I do love that question though, because it creates a thought process. It provokes a question. I hope you had a good weekend. I'll share a little bit about ours. Ours was pretty good. Little lack of sleep. Our youngest was having some trouble sleeping, so it left Saturday morning to be a little bit groggy, a little bit tough to get up and get ready to go. But all in all, good weekend, good family time. And, I was reminded again, in those moments, it can be so easy to, use being tired, lack of sleep as an excuse for poor behavior. But that's not the case. And especially as a father, I gotta stay on my toes, man. These kids look up to me. My wife depends on me to be the stronghold, to be a stronghold. And we're in this together, and we're a team. Thankful for her, thankful for my kids, and all in all, we had a good weekend. I hope you did too. So yeah, not a whole lot happened. We didn't do a whole lot, we didn't really do much. Obviously we went to church, and really we just hung out. It did snow in Tennessee, but it didn't snow nearly as much as they said it was going to, which was kind of a bummer. We love the snow. We're from Washington, so snow for us is obviously super exciting, and we were hoping that it was going to snow a lot more, but we're thankful that we got time to go out and play in the snow and have good family time. So that was cool. I don't know where you're at, but let me know. Did you guys get snow, or were you, not getting anything? I think that also leads to, obviously, we're talking about the Midwest, Mideast, dealing with snow, but we definitely want to take a moment and let's recognize, the West Coast, LA, California. To anybody that's being affected by that right now, we sincerely do pray for you. And if there's anything that we can do, please let us know. But our hearts and our prayers are out to everybody that's over there. And if you're out there and you're watching this, man, I'm praying for you guys. Reach out to me if there's anything I can do. And it's just a devastating thing that's going on right now. So we definitely are praying for those people. And I think that perfectly ties into today's title, How Can We Hope in a God Who Abandons Us? And again, I already explained, God does not abandon us, but I think that it can at times almost feel that way. We've talked about before, sometimes it feels like prayers go unanswered. Sometimes it feels like, God, where are you? I don't understand what's going on right now. Things are really tough. It's really hard. And it almost feels like I can't get through it. But we're going to read right now what this actually means. So let's go ahead and get into today's devotional. And it reads this: Jeremiah steadfastly recognized that the Lord had not abandoned his people, despite the pain of their situation. Rather, God's people had abandoned him. Let's read that one more time. Rather, God's people had abandoned him. Jeremiah, the weeping prophet, is also called the prophet of hope, because he foresaw a day when the Lord would reign in the midst of a restored, renewed, and reconciled people who would finally return to him. Jesus knew this paradox between abandonment and hope. In the midst of his suffering and death on the cross, he cried, my God, why have you forsaken me?" This is Matthew 27:46. Yet Jesus also knew that he would be resurrected on the third day, opening the gate of eternal life to all believers. The despair of the cross had now become the gift of life to perishing sinners. Abandonment, sorrow, struggle, and pain, all of these are transitory. Wholeness, healing, joy, and peace are permanent, for they are part of the very nature of God. That is what sustains the believer through difficult times. Although Jeremiah grieved over Jerusalem's destruction, he knew God would prevail. The supporting text is Lamentations 3:25. The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the person who seeks him. I'll say that one more time. The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the person who seeks him. You know, we talk about the devastation that's going on in California right now. And we'll take that scenario into the people that have lost their homes, belongings, memories. In those moments, it can most certainly feel like God has abandoned them. And perhaps it could be easy for me to say when I'm not on the receiving end. I'm on the complete other side of the country. But I take this particular situation, and I want us to be encouraged by something. God does not abandon us. It's devastating to see these things unfold. And in life, we can go through devastating trials, tribulations, things that may feel like in those moments, we can never get out of them. I know for myself in my life, there were definitely situations, especially as an adolescent, I felt like there's no way I'm getting out of this. There's no way that this is real. This hurts, this sucks, and I wish it weren't like this. I'm sure you felt yourself in that spot before. And if you have, or if you're currently going through it, first of all, I'm sorry. But I want you to know that I'm praying for you. And if you need it, please feel free to reach out to me at any time for prayer requests, or if you just need a friend to talk to, I'm always available. But the important part of today and what I want to talk about is that God doesn't leave us. He's always there. And I don't know if I talked about it in our last episode of the revival, or if it was one of the videos that I had shared on my social media platforms. Life at times can feel hectic. Life at times can feel like it's crashing down. The weight is heavy and it feels like you can't go any further. And my encouragement to you is to rely on the Word, because the Word is truth and you will find hope in Jesus. At the end of the day, God could do nothing more, meaning no answered prayers. Nothing could happen in your life, but God is always worthy of praise, because we get to live an eternal life with Him than life separated. And to me, at the end of the day, that's worth it. But God is a good God. He's a loving God. So He is going to bless, but at the same time, He's going to test. Okay? Well, I'll say that one more time. God will bless, but God will test. And at times, we're going to be tested in our life. Are we going to rely on ourselves, our own minds, our own thoughts, to dictate what we're going to do with our life? When we're sinking, when we're floundering, and it feels like I don't know what else to do? When we're at the end of our road, at the end of our rope, and this is the end, we're just gonna give up? Or is that when we lean on Jesus? And I think for me, and I'll speak for myself, I've been where I felt like I was at the end of my rope, but really I was near the beginning. And that's when I called on him. And sometimes we need to take a step back and call on him sooner. God, give me wisdom, give me strength, let me know, how am I supposed to get through this? And so I think that's what this devotional is saying. Relying on Jesus and remembering in abandonment and suffering, there's wisdom and there's peace. So this one's kind of a deeper one. We went a little bit deeper with this one, but I think it's good. And to leave you with some encouragement, again, let me remind you, if you need a friend, if you need somebody to talk to, if you need prayer, always feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out to me on Instagram. I'm always available. But also too, whatever we're going through in life, it will get better. But as you're going through it, rely on the strength of Jesus and he will get you through. I hope you guys enjoyed this devotional. I'm excited for the next one. And when we get there, I'll see you at the table. I'll see you guys on the next one. As always, proud of you. I believe in you. And I believe that you can achieve great things. See you guys on the next episode. Peace.